My name is Dr. Susan Stedman-Jones. I am now attached to the British Centre for Durkheim Studies in the University of Oxford in the Institute of Social and Cultural Anthropology. I formerly used to teach at Goldsmiths College, University of London. I would like to address two major misconceptions about Durkheim. They have been made by major commentators on his thought, particularly Talcott Parsons and Robert Nisbet. The first of these misconceptions is that Durkheim is a positivist. The second is that he is a conservative. I will address this issue of positivism. He was in a position to know, as a 19th century thinker, exactly what positivism was. The classical positivism of Auguste Comte and Saint-Simon held to two conceptions which Durkheim denied: the law of the three stages and the concept of the progress of humanity. Both of these Durkheim denied. They do not exist historically or theoretically. Indeed, Durkheim wrote the rules to correct Comte's errors in his own terms. Yet he does believe, with positivism, in some sense, that there is a thing called social fact. But social fact indicates that there is a social reality. Many misconceptions about Durkheim in les règles, the rules of the sociological method, center on that word, the thing. He said social facts are things, famously, and this has followed him down the years as an accusation. It would appear to be an association with materialism, reductionism, and anti-humanism. Now, of course, he is none of those things. He rejects materialism. He has got a goal of humanism in his thought. The word thing, as I have explained in my book, indicates a reality, and that is all that it indicates. Rather than being a positivist, he claims quite explicitly to be a rationalist. And he takes a central word that comes from rationalist philosophy, starting with Leibniz, going through Kant, and above all through Renouvier. The central term of his thought is représentation. Social facts are représentation for Durkheim. And representation indicates mind. But for Durkheim, central to society is the whole concept of collective representation. This means that representations here have a different foundation from individual representations. They are formed from social relations, from social structures, and all forms of morphology. The other terms that Durkheim uses that indicate a quite distinct difference from positivism is his terms conscience particulière and conscience collective. Both indicate that social reality has got a very strong and central conception with consciousness. Now I'll address the whole conception of him as a conservative. This is imposed by Robert Nisbet and is almost like a neoconservative capture of a French socialist. Central to Durkheim's conception of social reality is the conception of solidarity. And of course, he puts a social and historical analysis of this conception of solidarity in his La division du travail social. Solidarity has social and historical forms, which he calls the mechanical and the organic. The most complex form is the modern form of solidarity. And Durkheim's socialism emerges very clearly when he says in Book 3 of La Division that solidarity is only possible if it is spontaneous, and spontaneity does not occur with injustice, inequality, and violence, all of which he accepted as part of contemporary society. He says famously at the end of La Division, "Il nous faut faire une morale." We must make a morality, which shows that he does not think the central conception of society, solidarity, is fully realized in a class-based, violent society. Now, lastly, one term that has been neglected by all of these major commentators is his theory of change. Parsons very clearly says Durkheim has no theory of change. Well, that is because Parsons neglects his conception of devenir, becoming, which Durkheim over and over again says is a central feature of representation and relations, which are the core elements of society. So society for Durkheim is in a permanent state of becoming. It's permanently changing. And this conception of devenir rejects in itself this standard accusation of Durkheim that he has no theory of change.